thank you very much for all people that make possible this event. So we would like to introduce the thermal management about how to avoid the technical breakdowns on automation and control panels. In fact, we have more and more challenging projects after the COVID period with several variables to manage. So we will see this part in the following slides. Secondly, we will see the causes and impacts about the medium bat management projects, okay? And later, we will see the need and the reasons for having a good thermal study and integrating our thermal software in your engineering process from the design phase to the operation phase. The idea is to avoid, anticipate, prevent the installations that could appear any dysfunction and achieve the maximum reliability on your architecture's enclosures or your thermal architectures. So later we will present the thermal guide, a document that will be very useful for your daily projects. Plenty of tips we will see. The thermal software ProClima web, okay, is the main tool that we will present today. It's a pleasure to present today this one because we have been working for a long time and now it's ready for all of you in a free mode, okay? And the last but not the least, we will see different functionalities about the ProClima, the optimization menu, and the ways to optimize your projects in terms of CapEx or OpEx. And this is the idea. Okay, and the last but not the least, we will invite you to become a thermal specialist in your domain. If you are a specifier, if you are panel builder, if you are end user or installer or even a distributor, you have a huge space for being a specialist and contribute to this improvement of projects. Okay, and the last but not the least, we will see the next steps and Q&As. So starting, we will see that projects are more and more challenging. We have changed definitely of context. As you know, maybe more than me, we have an environment completely digital, more remote, with a huge change of climatic conditions. So we find pollution, unstable weathering, extreme temperatures. Some weeks ago, we found 50 degrees Celsius in Turkey. Okay, so on that, projects are affected. So the management of costs with rising materials, energy pricing, energy transformations, and raising prices, this impacts on projects. And for sure, functions are more and more integrated with less space, with more dissipation. So that involves this complexity, a necessity to see how to solve these projects one by one. So let's see the next slide. So if we go a little bit in detail, as per our experience in several projects, we see that from the design phase to the operational phase, we found, our customers found incorrect or false starting data. It's very important to challenge the specifications at the very beginning and confront to the reality, maybe with incorrect sizes that generates overconsumptions or down consumptions, mechanical incompatibilities, like an OEM that needs to export worldwide in several countries, or incorrect thermal architectures, like incorrect IPs, according to the environment, incorrect thermal solutions. Maybe we need to cool and we need to use ventilation. Okay, so on that we need to take care on every project and also overall see the equipment temperature limits exceeded or generates over consumption. So the impact that we will see is huge in a continuous operational line that normally in 1 hour we could have a complexity cost for an end user. So if the architectures are not well adapted for each application, we can find overheating, malfunctions, electrical equipment, maybe humidity condensation presence, even during the night that appears and disappears. And also we can find different problems like incorrect maintenance of thermal solutions, okay? So on that, we see different examples, like in automotive industries, bottling, glassworks, and metalworking as examples of different stopping hours that you could find in an end user site. If we see here, there is a law that has appeared in the 60s that explains the criticality that is Arrhenius law for the electronics, that it's very simple. For every 10 degrees Celsius of working temperature increase, the lifespan is half. So it is reduced to the half. And if we imagine an enclosure that have a speed drive inside and the installation hasn't been taken into account a thermal study, it could have the very high temperature, imagine 50 degrees, for instance. And on the second example, we see an installation that has the thermal study has been considered with good conditions, internal conditions like air, like temperature, considering ventilation or cooling. So the difference between these two temperature conditions represents minimum the doubling the lifetime respect the first one. Okay, so it's very important to consider our thermal management software for considering all the variables at the beginning of the study, for considering all possible affectations that you could have in the future operation plans. So saying that, if we go in detail and we see the equipment that it is integrated in the enclosure, because every project is different, every enclosure is different, there is an heterogeneous composition. So it is not only the technical aspects for one element, it's the composition of all that brings the reliability. And this is the job that ProClima will help you. So on that, you see that, for instance, on a speed drive, that is one of the elements that generates more heat. We need to consider that the normal temperature is 35, but can achieve 50 degrees Celsius, okay, in the big, medium, high models. But also you have PLCs, contactors, fuses. Here you see the elements and the maximum temperatures that in the maximum level could achieve, okay? So this is very important, and we need to consider the most critical element inside the control panel. So on that, let me present some examples, like a conveyor installation control panel, that here you can see different speed drives in a very concentrated way. And also a second example in a hoisting installation with batteries integrated, that the temperature shouldn't exceed 25, 30 degrees Celsius. So these elements are examples, clear examples that thermal management is very important, and the spaces, the rules of art that we present later are very important. So it's important, summarizing, to control the external climatic conditions, the internal balance, and the pollution. So all these, if it is not controlled, generates or dysfunctions or even a technical breakdown. And on that, a good thermal management software ensures the reliability. So we are speaking about thermal architectures well controlled from the beginning till the end, knowing all the conditions and at the end user side. Also the efficiency, because every thermal solution involves a cost of energy, okay, and efficacy, okay, that ProClima considers. Also the thermal management, and here we are thinking on passive solutions, because enclosures like ours, we are a multi-material manufacturer. We have polyester, we have a steel for outdoors, we have stainless steel. So the enclosure alone, it's a passive solution that can contribute to the final thermal solution, even without an active solution like a fan or like a cooling unit, and considers the enclosure alone. Okay, and the last but not the least, the optimization. So now ProClima allows to propose several multifunctions that allows to iterate and reduce or increment, according to the needs of the project, the final solution for compressing the space or enlarging and gaining CapEx or OpEx. Okay. So on that, let me introduce the thermal guide. This is the control panel technical guide that is structured in 4 parts. The first one is, first of all, analyzing the ambience, the atmospheres. And here we have several customers, several applications. We are a multi-segment enclosure and thermal management manufacturer. And here you can see that examples of oil, sugar, chlor, sand, fiber, textiles, rubber, cement. So every segment, every application needs a consideration, a specific consideration, a specific treatment. Here we see the consequences for a water treatment plant with copper that some customer has used airing solutions or ventilating, so allowing to take this polluted air inside. So this is an example, but we have others that just for bring the case that we need to take care a lot about the atmospheres that we are exposing our installations. Secondly, is an automotive industry with greasy pollution in the ambient that this oil finally affects to the micro contacts of the PLCs that could affect later the final production. Okay. The second part is the thermal resilience. So this guide offers several tips according how to use a speed drive, how to use a fan, what are the distances to respect, the trunks, the distances, and plenty of tips that could help to improve the path of the air. The third part is the decision, the simple decision, but sometimes very important for the facility managers, considering ventilation or cooling units, okay, or which type of heating I need. So all these questions, introducing well the inputs on our software, we have algorithms, advanced algorithms that helps to solve and orient to the final solution. And the last but not the least is the application table that here you have several segments, applications like cement, hoisting, harbors, and the different problematics that according to our external and internal experts, we have collect. Okay, thank you to them. And here you see the different chapters that you could go deeper. So analyze, tackling Greenfield or Brownfield applications that are not the same. Okay, the Brownfield, it's really more, we can say, hard to solve situations, okay, and needs less space for solving things. But we are specialized on helping you on that. Also, different qualities of air, applying passive or active solutions, and also managing the airflows, iterations, and the different solutions and the final table. Okay, Geraldine has sent you the link for downloading this guide, and let me introduce the offer. So on the left side, you have the group of equipment that we have, or you are installing daily: circuit breakers, motors, starters, drives, PLCs, fuses, HMIs, batteries. All these generates calories. Later, we propose an enclosure that has an IP with different materials, and with the higher IP it is, the problematic of thermal, so exiting this, spreading these calories, is more complex. So here the question is which function I need to use for my application with these conditions. And here it is the solution. We have the ProClima software that helps to track the temperature, humidity, and conditions. And later, we have the ProClima web that helps to study one case to another, the best final scenarios. If we go a little bit in detail with airing, our grids, let me explain you that are premium materials. We are using ASA-PCs, polycarbonates, a coating of the filters that brings the property anti-fire. Okay. Also, we have ventilation as a premium product. We have ASA-PC, and the fans are manufactured with bearing balls, with thermal protection, are ready for the smart ventilation, and we have an offer specific for digital fans. Later, we will explain to you. And we go from 85 till 1,000 meter cubics per hour. We have a circulation for generating the convection inside the enclosure, and we have a group of heaters with different thermal architectures, heating architectures. One is the ultra-thin heaters that spreads the heat as a conductive way. We have the aluminum heaters in a radiation surroundings, especially for water and zones that exist a lot of humidity. It's very important. And we have the insulate heaters for conducting this heat on the chimney and just heating the element in a big panel, okay? And another one is the heaters with fan that we bring the speed of the heat, okay? Imagine a hoisting at 8 a.m. And we need to heat the speed drives for this hoist, okay? So on that, we cover the maximum of applications, and ProClima will help you. Later, we have the control part with mechanical and electronical controllers that brings or more capacity to subject to the enclosure systems, like the mechanical controllers, or the precision accuracy when we have a very critical application. Okay, with the possibility to add statistics or sensors proofs to the certain areas. Later, we have the exchangers, air and air water, for zones that we have several atmospheres with harsh environments, with high pollution, with aggressivity. And the last but not the least, we have 146 references dedicated for cooling units in different versions, in a steel, a stainless steel, on heavy duty for outdoors, and a slim offer, okay, for a GMOs and with aesthetical design. And on that, we are bringing an IP55 internally with cost-effective function and high functionalities, okay? So on that, let me jump finally to the ProClima. ProClima web, you need to tap on your browser, proclima.sc.com, and ProClima now is visible on different formats, on PC, mobile, or tablet, with several languages. The menu is able to work on that. The final report is in 7 languages, and we can have an online update with no necessity to download every time the software. So please, I kindly invite you to switch from the analogic to the digital one, that it's more fresh and more updated. So it's simple. You need to tap this address. Geraldine has sent you the link. Register. It takes less than 3 minutes, and start your project. Okay. So in fact, we have 3 types of software. We have the online, useful for all users, is a ProClima web online software. The second one is a collaboration that we have with EGXAO and WSCAT, that inside the software, the industrial software vendors, they have a button that ProClima is embedded. So any project with these 2 brands allows to integrate the thermal coating, the thermal project, on the final solution. And the last but not the least is our diagnostic service that can be provided from our sales force, depending on different countries, but also for the specialized distributors that we are providing thanks to a previous training that we are delivering. And it allows to activate measuring in the brownfield or in the greenfield for the atmospheres and detect the overheatings in the brownfield and detect the problems or fever that could have several enclosures and apply the solution. So on that, let me please introduce globally the ProClima web is an online and offline thermal calculation software. It defines, measures, analyzes, and implements the solution, and it calculates and proposes different thermal solutions for electrical cabinets, especially on automation and control equipment. It prevents and predicts the overheatings and technical breakdowns. So it's an intuitive navigation. We take into account the energy efficiency criteria. We analyze different scenarios, and we propose multiple architectures. Okay, it all in less than 5 minutes and for free. This is very important. So the applications are huge. As we are universal enclosures, we need to be on inside and outside, on internal and external installations, on infrastructures. We can see harbors, motorways, airports, wherever, okay, with sun radiation or without, even with shelters, it's possible to use ProClima, and on industry in different sizes, small, medium, and large, and OEMs, okay? What we are more restricted and only we can use on electrical distribution is only on MCCs with variable speed drives just in one module. But ProClima is not designed for solving an electrical, we can say, distribution software. Exists others in Schneider, okay, that has this function, okay? So one of the most important parts of ProClima is the democracy, the opportunity, the multiple scenarios of solutions that offers. So if the initial data allows to ventilate, to cool, to use exchangers, or even heaters, ProClima will have the access and will provide the solution. If not, it will say it is not possible and will block the solution. Okay, and on that, on every solution will be confronted one by one, and you can see and measure the effectiveness of this solution, okay, in terms of energy, in terms of common sense, we can say. Okay, so on that, more than that, as we have launched our digital smart ventilation solution, CSVS offer, now we have the first digital ventilation in the market. ProClima allows to bring the full list, the boom list of the solution, and more than that, it can show the visualization of the disposition of the fans and grids, okay? And the optimization menu with these 7 buttons allows to iterate in the, we can say, during the project, the different ways to have a fine tuning, changing the voltages, expanding the dimensions, reducing the dimensions, changing the layout of the thermal solutions, the mounting positions, and see if it's effective or not before doing the installations. This is a good property, and also monitoring the final solution, as you have seen, and assembling positions. And the last but not the least, inside ProClima, there is a library, later we will see, with an integrated full library, and a part of the Schneider website. Inside the same software, you can have access to catalogs, videos, technical news, and tutorials for knowing better the products and the software. So finally, what is the objective of the software? Deliver a premium project for specifiers, for end users, for OEMs, for panel builders. We have a synthesize of the project that you could add to your project, and in less than 5 minutes, you have the boom list and the document ready with the explanations very clear for the panel builder, with the cutouts, with all the calculations, as you will see later. Okay. Also for the distributors, for having the needed material for taking the stocks and delivering the orders. Okay. So arriving here, let me explain you that we would like to invite you to become thermal specialists. So we are going to do more webinars than that, but this one, more trainings. We are doing several trainings in our countries to the sales specialized teams for the distributors and panel builders, and even specifiers and facility managers, advanced trainings for customers that wants to a specialization on thermal, audits on Greenfield and Brownfield, thanks to the summer campaign that we are launching this year in several countries, and allows to generate an awareness to our end users, to our customers, and explaining the problematics that we can prevent, we can anticipate, and we can avoid for delivering the maximum reliability. Okay? So, Geraldine, I let you the yes.
Yeah. Sorry, if I may say so. Yeah, this is a very important topic that you are telling us, because we are offering to support you in your project, and we can provide you support to upgrade your skills and to increase your business as well by becoming a specialist, as Joseph said. So if you wish to be contacted by your local representative for your thermal management project, for getting trainings or any support, we will launch a small questionnaire here in this webinar. You just need to fill in this questionnaire to answer the question, and then we can contact you. So yeah, if you don't mind, Nikita, can you launch the small survey?
Yes, the survey is live, and we request everybody to please respond to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So don't hesitate to answer and to ask any support, and we will contact you back. So yeah, Joseph, I'll let you go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So we can go. And in addition, the audits will be necessary for the brownfield, for knowing the conditions, or even for new projects, for evaluating and challenging the specifications. And this tool is very important because it measures the reality, okay? And we can track the cycle machine in a manufacturing process, or we can see the maximum or minimums inside the cabinet, the behavior of this speed drive, or this battery of this UPS, or this pole of electrical vehicle. So on that, we are covering, and we are more, we can say, inside the problematics before proposing a solution. Okay. With that, let me present an example, different examples, two examples. One is a packaging line, okay, that we will see that we need to evaluate if we need to cool or ventilate. It is 3 joint enclosures that could be ventilated or using cooling solutions. It's a packaging plant in indoor with variable speed drives. Later we will see. And with that, the external temperature is 28 degrees and 90% of relative humidity. Okay, so on that, let's see what happens. Okay, so let me stop my video, okay, for allowing more bandwidth. Okay, so we will see the video. So here, as you can see, now it starts. Here you have several ways: open, save, or using the registration. Select your language. We have 2 algorithms and 7 steps, indoor or outdoor. So this software has been designed almost for 20 years ago, and we have improved a lot. And here you can declare the voltage, the frequency, and all the necessary details for your project. So here you have all this detailed project in Valencia. So here is the position of the enclosure that the 61439 indicates that needs to be considered. And if you have customized enclosure, also it's possible. Now we are going to select or even an Talasso or a special SF, in this case is an SF, okay? And automatically we can download the datasheet and generate these 3 enclosures that you can modify or enlarge as you want. So later we enter on the data on Celsius or Fahrenheit. Here we indicate the 28 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees, 90%, and here with the 828 we see the delta T, that in this case it allows to use ventilation. And in the power dissipation mode, we can integrate the value, or we can declare one by one the full list, because as we are a Schneider, we are producing these elements, and we can, we can see the, let me go back just a little bit. Yes, we were here, sorry. So here you can see that you generate all the list one by one, indicating numbers, indicating and saving. And on that you can configure. And at the end, you have the possibility to customize products that are not in the list, that doesn't belong on the list. And here you have the total amount and the coefficient of simultaneity. Imagine if the installation doesn't stop during the night, the coefficient will be 100. Okay, so here you see, and we can jump to the next slide, thermal solution. And here there is this nice sentence that in case that we don't apply any thermal solution, the final temperature will be 63. And as here we select all the possible solutions with the smart ventilation and a standard ventilation. Let's just start with the standard, with the filter type, the IP degree selection, with the color of the fan, the coefficient of security, and the control. That could be bimetal or electronical one, with the hygrotherm. And here we enter in the panorama of solutions, that here you see the summary. We have 2 fans, 2 coolings, 2 air exchangers, and here we see the difference between the necessary performance and provided one, the percentage, it's very interesting, and the mounting position, if it's possible or not. And these left buttons allows to change the voltage, change the sizes, and force the numbers, as you will see here. So now we have 2 fans, and we will convert into 3. Okay, for sure the reservation change, but also the model is reduced. The fan is reduced, but we have 1 number more. Okay, we have cooling units, air exchangers, and here is the first report that in short minutes, in less than 5 minutes, you could have all the complete report with the total number of calories, watts, the list generated of every solution that you have selected previously. So it allows to show to the facility manager or the end user different options, and according that, it is more easier to take a final solution in terms of complexity of installation or in terms of budget, for sure. Okay, and here we will see, and let me come back because I would like to show you some insights. Here you see that the software indicates the pain points, the problematics with these 4 heaters. And now we are going to reduce these 7 heaters till 3, okay? 1 per enclosure. So here, normally it brings 2 with the fan, but now we are going to iterate and propose 3, okay? For sharing well the heat in all enclosure. Okay, and on that you have the final solution with these 3. Okay, and later there is another one with the smart ventilation. Let me show you the smart ventilation example. So here we still have the 3 fans, but with the total amount of material, the bill of material, and this example, okay, with 1 per enclosure. That finally brings all the solution. Also, if we want to change the cooling units, because we have 2 and we have 3 enclosures, we can force, and the algorithm propose another one, the minimum one for sure, that splits the loads correctly according to the split drives installed or the calories. And on that, we can be more efficient and effective on the thermal management side. So here you have the full list of the smart ventilation with the cutouts, with the sensors, with the coolings, with the cutouts, with the mechanical validation from the thermal solution to the enclosure, and the heating solution with architecture that is the best one. Okay, so this is the example that we have provided. So if we continue, let me evaluate the results. The question was cooling or ventilate. We have found 2 fans and 2 coolings. As we are below 30 degrees Celsius, here we have iterated and we have found 3. Okay, so we found 200 watts. And as we are, I insist, below 30 degrees Celsius, cooling units represents too much energy. And if we compare, we are with ventilation, if it's possible, for sure, and the atmosphere allows, it is more than interesting to use ventilation, even a smart ventilation with our solution for detecting the dust at the right level and replace, okay? And all the pain points and the problematics that you could have in the ventilation systems. And on that, you have the final solution. 3 fans and, in this case, 2 coolings, but I insist it is not, in this case, the best solution. On that, if we go to the same example, but in a steel industry, and we change the temperature, and we imagine in this steel industry with ovens, with really a hot ambient, and you have 45 degrees in this technical room, the question is here in this critical or criticity situations, we have cooling units or air water exchangers to decide. So on that, we are going to use the same content of material, and the pollution will be metallic dust, non-aggressive, but this is the situation. And here, the ProClima offers 3 cooling units, 1.6 kilowatts per each cooling unit. Remember that ProClima also considers the working curves, the performance curves, and according to the temperatures, this 45 degrees, the performance of the cooling unit, it is not at 35, it is at 35, 45, okay, outside. So here it provides 3 cooling units and 3 exchangers. The decision now is on the installation side to evaluate the pollution, the level of pollution. The cooling unit needs to breathe and needs a medium ambient with a maintenance, okay, for sure, but can be installed. But if the installation remains very polluted and more aggressive, the most convenient is to use an air water heat exchanger, okay? So on that, you can see that the ProClima web helps and goes with you in all the steps from the very beginning till the end of the installations, okay? So thank you very much. Now, Geraldine, we jump to the question and answers.
Yeah, we have collected some questions. So the first one, there is a question about the standard. Is the standard 61439 affecting the calculations on ProClima web?
Yes, yes. In fact, ProClima web considers one part of the 61439 is the EAC 890 that calculates the surface dissipation of the enclosure. So on every calculation, it is calculated according to the position that is declared. Imagine if it's in front of the wall, so the rear part of the wall, it cannot dissipate, okay? So it doesn't dissipate. But at the end of the calculation, the final balance, it considers this part of the standard, okay?
Okay, just before asking the other question, there is a remark from Mark in the chat.
Yes.
So I don't know if you read it, but yeah, for participants in the US, the smart ventilation products that you were talking about are not UL approved at this time in the US.
Yes, today we are not UL. Yes, we are right. We need to specify that CSVS is normally on EIC, okay? And in the future, we are contemplating in a future roadmap to integrate it. Thank you, Mark. Okay.
Okay. Another question, always about ProClima. Can we only calculate indoor thermal project with ProClima?
No, ProClima considers indoor and outdoor calculations. Today, we haven't had time to show the outdoor calculations, but ProClima, in the algorithm in the beginning bottom of outdoor calculations, you have the outdoor algorithm that allows to have a huge database with more than 10,000 weathering stations, private and public. And if you imagine an indoor installation that the temperature is stable, in outdoor you have a sinusoidal one. So the algorithm of outdoors, it works differently, and it takes the maximum and minimum conditions for considering the problematic in the geographical zone of the installation. And on that, we are offering more, we can say, efficiency. We are optimizing the outdoor installation, because on other, we can say, solutions from other manufacturers, they are bringing solutions with double skins, with different properties that are not really necessary on the installation site. Okay, so very soon, Geraldine, we are going to propose an outdoor webinar probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is another question, but I have problem to see the question in the Q&A box. Sorry. Maybe Philippe, I don't know if you have seen the question. Philippe is our moderator today, and I have just a problem. Yeah, to see the question. Can the materials to calculate the power loss? And I don't see the rest of the question. Can you help me, Philippe? Maybe, I don't know, because I don't see the question.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So yes. The end of the question is: can the materials to calculate the power loss be imported by an Excel file?
Okay, so on that, we are improving this part, because on the total amount of list today, the user can register one by one. Okay, and we are taking into consideration this possibility. I understand that the user wants to integrate from an external list this part. Okay, we have taken into consideration this from one customer 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we are going to see if we can implement. Thank you for this feedback. Okay.
There is another question about the warranty. So how long is the factory warranty, and what are the specifics?
Mm-hmm.
After some software extended warranty programs available?
Yes, I understand that we are using the Schneider warranty in terms of the products. Okay, according to the Schneider laws, every country, I think, has the one policy. Okay, but Philippe, you can help me maybe. But it is normally from the production date. We are considering 18 months. From the selling date, it's 12 months. If I don't remember well. I remember well. Okay.
So Joseph, I can confirm this is what I know, at least applicable for the French market.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's answer like that. But we can say that every country has their policy, but normally it's around that. Yes. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So we suggest to.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, another, I have a last question from my side. Where can I find more technical information about Climasys product or project support?
Yes, the idea is that you could find on technical documentation on the technical library inside ProClima, just when you click your name, because when you register inside ProClima, it appears your name. If you click your name, you will see a menu, and at the bottom of the menu there is technical information, and there you have a huge database that you could extract catalogs, you could extract videos, tutorials, technical instructions, but the most important is our Schneider website, that on the clemency zone and the universal enclosures area, you could see the family of enclosures, the family of all, and the technical documents and all the support that you need. And beyond that, you have our Salesforce, our CCC network, and our distributors that are with us every day. And we are in touch every moment, we can say. Okay. What else, Geraldine?
Okay, I don't have any question from my side, but maybe I missed some question. I don't know, Philippe, do you have any other question?
Not now.
Not now. Okay, so we are just on time and we are at the end of this webinar. So really a big thanks, Joseph, for your brilliant intervention. Thank you all for your attention and for your question. Yeah. So I hope that the webinar has been instructive and that we can work together on your thermal project, of course. So as I say at the beginning of the webinar, you will receive a link to the replay and to the other assets. So really don't hesitate to contact your local person, sales, for any question, any support. And stay tuned because we will be organizing new digital events in the coming months. And we will, of course, really happy to welcome you there. So take care of you. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great summer to everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.